Hi beautiful friends, welcome back. My name is Natasha, and if you're enjoying all this yoga content, feel free to hit subscribe for new videos every Friday. Today's yoga video is going to be yoga for runners or a post-run cool down stretch. So this sequence really focuses on the hamstrings, the calves, the hip flexors, and also a little bit of the chest and shoulders. I know that when I go for a run, which isn't very often, but I get a little bit sore in those spots. I've also talked to a lot of runners in my community, and they said these are the stretches that they're craving. So we're gonna go ahead and get started in a downward facing dog. In this downward facing dog, we come into an inverted V shape with our body. Our feet are about hips width distance apart. Our palms are a little bit wider than the shoulders, creating an L shape with our index finger and the thumb. Pressing down through the index finger and the thumb's base knuckle and sending the gaze towards the toes to elongate the neck. If you already have some post-run soreness, maybe you take a micro bend to those knees. And take a full breath here. The head underneath the heart starts to slow down the breath. Calming our parasympathetic nervous system here. Start to breathe deep. Press the palms into the mat. Feel the shoulders move away from the ears, maybe slightly wrapping those biceps around. Take a full breath. Exhale, empty all the way out. Bring both feet together to touch. I call this one zip up dog. I'm zipping in my navel towards the spine. I'm gonna shake my head yes. Shake my head no. Because I just came back from a run, I'll give myself a little bit more yes. Inhale, start to lift that right heel high to the sky. Can you square off the hip by sending those toes towards the earth? Keep pressing into the palm. Take a full breath in. Exhale, bend into this right knee. Can you start to create these big, juicy hip circles here? So targeting these hip flexors, maybe you start to move clockwise, and then switching the direction to counterclockwise. Inhale, three-legged dog, right heel high to the sky. Take a full breath in. Exhale, bring that right knee in towards the nose. Feel that crunch and feel your shoulders protract. Maybe, if it feels good, that right foot comes in between the palms. If that right palm doesn't make it in between the palms, that's okay. Just go ahead and walk it forward. I'm slowly releasing that left knee towards the earth. I'm tucking the toes and rising my palms up. Anjaneyasana, low runner's lunge. In this Anjaneyasana, take a look at your alignment. We're creating a straight line here through the legs, slightly pressing down through the hip and lifting through the chest. Let the shoulders drop down, send that navel in towards the spine, and through the exhale, maybe you press a little bit deeper. Keep squeezing the thighs together to square those hips off. One more breath. Exhale, maybe you sink a little bit deeper. Inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Exhale, release both palms to paint a wall in front of you. Palms frame the right foot. Start to send the right hip back. We're finding half Hanuman, half split. In this half split, getting juicy through this right hamstring, can you use each exhale to sink you a little bit deeper? Apologies, I can't seem to talk today. But that's okay. Take a full inhale here. Maybe you lift the spine a little bit to lengthen, creating space through the torso. Maybe you sink down a little bit deeper. My friends, if you're working through that full split, go ahead and move through that full split. Feel what feels good to your body here. Everyone's body is different, especially post-run. Just take one more breath here. Sinking that right hip even further back. And then releasing, bending back into that right knee. From here, can you tuck the toes? We're rising up just to find a crescent lunge for a quick moment. And in this crescent lunge, really ground down through this right foot. Squeeze the thighs together. The back heel is lifted above the toes. Exhale, release the palms down. Sweep that right foot all the way back up, three-legged dog. From this three-legged dog, can you scorpion tail or bend in that right knee? Right heel goes towards the left glute just to open up that hip even more. Maybe you finish off with some circles, and then switching the direction to counterclockwise just to make things even. Release the right foot to meet the left. Find your downward facing dog again, both feet together to touch for that zip up dog. Take a breath to reset. Inhale, both heels lift high to the sky. Exhale, maybe they sink deeper towards the earth. If you suffer from low back injury, maybe you drop down and bend the knees slightly. Take one more breath. Exhale, left heel comes high to the sky. Can you square off the hip by pointing the toes towards the mat? Bend deep into this left knee and start to create those big, juicy circles here. First, moving clockwise, really getting into our hip flexors here. And then switching the direction to counterclockwise, keep pressing into both palms evenly. If your wrists begin to start hurting, can you start to bring the weight through the fingertips versus the wrists? Back to three-legged dog, take a full breath in. Exhale, bring that knee in towards the nose, feel your shoulders protract. This gives you that space to let that left foot drop in between the palms. If it doesn't make it there, no worries. You can just come down onto the mat and walk that foot forward. Untuck the right toes. Start to lift through the chest, Anjaneyasana, low runner's lunge. Slightly pressing that hip into the earth, bolstering your heart towards the stars. Take a full breath in, allow the shoulders to melt down the spine. Control the breath, control the mind. Can each exhale sink you a little bit deeper through this right and left hip? One more breath. Exhale, sink a little bit deeper. Last breath here, inhale, fill the belly, fill the lungs. Plant the palms towards the left foot, and start to send the left hip all the way back to find half Hanuman, half split. Again, this is the pose where we're working on that left hamstring. So maybe each breath sinks you a little bit deeper, sending that right hip farther back. Maybe the gaze goes towards the right knee. Take a full breath in, halfway lift. Just to create that space through the torso to allow yourself to melt down even deeper. One more breath here. Exhale, start to bend into this left knee. We're tucking the right toes for just a moment. Rising up to a crescent warrior, squeeze the thighs together. We're squaring those hips off. Let the shoulders melt down towards the spine. This gets through the entire left leg. One more breath. Exhale, plant the palms to frame this left foot. Sweep that left foot all the way back to find that three-legged dog. Maybe you scorpion tail that left heel here. Maybe you give yourself a little bit more hip love by creating those circles. Switching the direction to counterclockwise. And then releasing that left foot to meet the right. Send the gaze towards the toes here. Can you slowly tiptoe all the way towards the top of the mat? Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Empty all the way out. Can you slow and controlled rise up vertebrae by vertebrae? Your neck and head are the last things to come all the way up towards the sky. And palms can come into heart center here just for a moment of gratitude. And we're opening up the feet here. Both toes are pivoted towards one side, long ways of the mat. And we're going to release the chest forward, hinge at the hips, lead with the chest. Maybe those palms come forward to find a flat back. Just to find ourselves in a wide-legged forward fold. So one twist through this wide-legged forward fold, that left palm reaches towards the right ankle. Maybe that right palm opens up, feel the stretch through the chest and through the backs of the legs. Can you inhale, halfway lift, grow tall, find a flat back. Exhale, empty out, come back through center. To avoid hyperextension, maybe you take a micro bend to the knees. Inhale, fill up. Exhale, release that right palm towards the left ankle. That left palm reaches forward, shine your chest towards the left side. Through the inhale, maybe you halfway lift, grow tall through the spine. Exhale, maybe you sink down a little bit deeper. Coming back through center, one more inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, melt down. Option to bring the palms on the hips here. Micro bend in those knees to avoid hyperextension. Find your flat back, press into the feet. We're rising all the way up. Gently step that foot towards the front of the mat. And then slowly releasing the glutes down. We're just finding a seated pose on our mats here. So I'm going to run through one more hip stretch as we begin to melt down. Bring the fingertips away from you, maybe making your way on your mat with a little extra core, or maybe skipping it. As the shoulder blades come to the earth, we're going to play with a seated pigeon pose. So through the seated pigeon pose, first bring the feet or the fingers to slightly graze the tips of the heels. Can that left foot come cross over that right thigh? Create a figure 4 with the body. Maybe you reach underneath the right thigh, starting to send the right knee towards the chest. Dorsiflex the fins, stay nice and active in those legs. Maybe you pull that right knee closer towards the chest. As you simultaneously press this left thigh away from you. So you should feel a juicy stretch through this left side. And let each exhale sink you a little bit deeper. Maybe that means sending the low back towards the earth. Maybe that means pressing the shoulders down farther in. Take one more breath through this hip stretch. Exhale, release through center. Maybe a tiny inversion. Your legs are up the wall. Maybe shake them out. And then release the heels down. Right foot crosses against the left thigh to find that figure 4. Can you reach underneath this left thigh to create a clasp? Dorsiflexing the fins, staying active in those legs, sending the toes towards the shins. Take a full breath in. Exhale, start to bring this left knee close to the body while pressing this right thigh away from you. Feeling that outer right hip start to open up. Take a few breaths. Releasing through the body, maybe that low back comes onto the mat as well. That sthira and sukha, that push and pull, that beautiful dance between surrendering and discipline. Releasing that left foot down towards the mat and releasing that right foot as well. If you'd like to stay for this last few seconds of pure bliss and rest, find a few seconds to just melt in the Shavasana. Corpse pose, representing death, but also representing a new beginning. Taking a few seconds to acknowledge our body, to thank our body for all that it's done, softening the space between the brows, relaxing through the chest, arms, ribs, and belly. Maybe releasing the thighs, unbuckling the knees, the calves, all the way to the toes. As you begin to bring awareness back to the body, you wiggle the fingers. Maybe inviting life back into the toes to give those a wiggle. As if you're waking up for the very first time this morning, reach behind you for that good morning stretch. Exhale, pull the knees in towards the chest. Give yourself a final squeeze. Thank your body for showing up for some self-love and some self-care post-run. Choosing either the right side or the left side to fall onto a fetal position using your bicep as a pillow. Pressing the palms into the mat, rising up to a seated position, facing any which way your heart desires. Palms come to gather all the beautiful energy we've created with one another. Palms kiss to seal our intentions and down through heart center. Thank you for allowing me to guide you through this post-run flow or yoga for runners. The perfectly imperfect student in me bows, honors, and respects the teachers in all of you. Namaste. My beautiful yogis, thank you so much. Don't forget to hit subscribe and feel free to share this video if you know any runners that can benefit from this practice. I'll see you guys soon.